Hey guys, so last week you had a guest teacher who was supposed to go over slope point form with you. And so this would have been lesson 21. So we're going to go ahead and review that real quick. And so what I want you to know is that there are three forms or three ways that slope point form can be introduced to you. And the first thing you need to do is you need to rewrite slope, which is represented by the letter M when we get to slope intercept. And slope point is represented here by y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. Okay. And so let's first look at our first example that this might be presented to you. I'm going to give you some time to pause while I drink my coffee, and you can write down these quick notes. Oh my gosh, this coffee is so good. So good. And as usual, my dog is being a bugaboo, so you'll hear him in the background. Okay, so we, in this situation, have letter M, which means that we have slope. And it tells us the slope is 2. But then it gives us points. And so slope intercept is when we are given, wrong spot. Slope point form is when we are given coordinate points. Coordinate pairs, coordinate points, ordered pairs, and so forth, okay? So in this situation, we've been given an x and a y, and we've been given the slope. And so because we've been given the slope and we've been given a point, so we have a slope and a point, okay? We're going to go ahead and use the slope point formula. So all I need to do is plug this in or substitute this into this equation. So I'm going to take y because this is x1 and this is y1. And now I'm going to subtract my y1, which is 1, and I'm going to set that equal to my slope, which is 2. And it's going to be multiplied by x minus x1, which is negative 3. I'm going to give you some time to write that down. Okay, so now all you have to do is the mathematics for it. First off, we have to distribute. So what this means is that I'm going to do a llama love here and a llama love here. But I want to do something before I go ahead and distribute. If you don't do this, you should still make sure that you get it correct. You see these two here? Anytime I'm pairing two negatives, so a negative times a negative, negative divided by a negative, that's going to become positive. A negative, positive, okay? So I'm multiplying 2x plus 6. Y minus 1 is equal to 6. If I want this equation right here to be in slope intercept form, that means I have to isolate this y to the left side of the equation here. So this 1 is positive, so I'm going to go ahead and add this 1 to both sides of the equation, which now isolates my y, and it's going to be equal to 2x plus 7. And this is my line of equation. Okay? Now we have another situation or another example. In this situation, we are given b. And remember that when we talk about b, we're talking about the y-intercept. And when we have the y-intercept, we are always to assume that x is going to be 0 and b is going to be a number. So in this situation, I do have 2 points, 0, 2, and 2, 5. So this means first and foremost, I have to go back up here and use my slope formula because I don't have a slope to use point slope to get to slope intercept. So now I'm going to go ahead and label these x1, y1, x2, y2. I'm going to write my formula here. M is equal to 5 minus 2, and that's going to be divided by 2 minus 0. And I'm going to go ahead and double check my math. My y2, my y1 subtracted. Okay, that's going to equal 3. And 2 minus 0 is going to be 2 minus 0 is going to be 2. So my slope here is going to be 3 halves. So m is equal to 3 halves. Now I have 2 points. The great thing about slope point form, this guy right here, is I can choose any of these. And guess what I'm going to choose because I have a fraction? I'm going to choose the one with 0 because it's easier, okay? So I'm going to take y minus, what's my y1 here is 2. And I'm going to set that equal to my slope, which is 3 halves, times x minus my x1 in this situation is 0. And we're going to see what we can get from there. Go lay down. Marshall, stop. Okay, so if I distribute, what I get is 3 halves x, that's it, is equal to y minus 2. I want to isolate this y, so I'm going to add 2 to both sides. So I'm going to plus 2 here. And this is going to give me y equals 3 half x plus 2. Perfect. Okay? Lastly, what happens when we are given 2 points? It's super easy. We're going to do the same thing we did up here, and we're going to do all the work. So we've just worked up to doing all of the work. So I'm going to label x1, y1, x2, y2. And don't worry about that. And by habit, just put that, okay? So I know I have to find slope. M is going to be equal to negative 6. And negative 6 is going to minus or subtract negative 3. And I'm going to divide that by 3 minus 4. So this is going to give me negative 6 plus 3 over 1. And that should give me negative 3 over 1, which is negative 3. Okay, so that's my m. Now all I have to do is take that and plug that into my slope point formula up here. So I'm going to take this one. Doesn't matter which one you take. You can take this one or that one. So I'm going to take y minus negative 3, and I'm going to set that equal to my discovered slope. We found that, which is negative 3, and that's going to be times x minus 4. Draw my line, and now distribute. So now I'm going to rewrite this. Y plus 3 is equal to negative 3x plus 12. All right, and this is plus 12 because when I distribute it, a negative times a negative, so negative 3 times negative 4 gives me positive 12, okay? Now, I want to go ahead and make this a positive, or isolate my y over here. So what I have to do is subtract this 3 from both sides. That isolates my y. I subtract this 3 here, and this gives me y is equal to negative 3x plus 9. So if you have any questions, come see me at class today. If not, good luck, guys. See you soon.